Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Hidden Gems of Romania. I'm Flavia Drăgan from Experienced Romania, and I'm a national tour guide. Today, we will take you to a very beautiful region from Romania called Maramureș. Being spring, here take place many specific events, and the whole region takes on color. And in May, usually, I like going to an agrarian festival called Tânjaua de pe Mara. But this year is the first year in the last 50 years when this festival is not held because of the coronavirus. So that's why we chose to celebrate it today, at least virtually. Now, to tell you a few things about Maramureș region. This is a historical region from northern Romania. It's right at the border with Ukraine. And Maramureș is like a living museum with fairy tale countryside. It's also known for its wooden churches, many of them from the 17th or 18th century, with very interesting architecture. And even if the modern world came in this region as well, we can still see many traditional wooden houses. And some of them have these beautiful traditional rooms adorned with embroidered textiles, religious icons, and also woven carpets. They are all manually made, handmade by the locals. And also in Maramureș, they are practicing old crafts. So it's very common to see these scenes on the streets of Maramureș, like women hand spinning wool or washing their carpets at the whirlpools or using their looms inside their house to make textiles and carpets. Also, traditions here are kept with holiness. And you can see the locals wearing these beautiful colored traditional folk costumes with every occasion. And people here are looking at life in a very positive way. And that's why I have to mention about this special place called the Mary Cemetery. This is an actual cemetery, also a UNESCO site, and this is in top 10 most unique cemeteries in the world. But we will talk about this another time. Now, the agrarian festival that I was mentioning before is held in a small village from Maramureș called Hoteni. This is a small village only with 200 people, and almost every village in Maramureș has at least one wooden church. And most of them are from the 17th or 18th century, and 8 of them are UNESCO monuments. For example, this one on the left is the wooden church from Șurdești village. It's a UNESCO monument from the 18th century, and it's very beautiful and is used even today. On our right side, we have the church from Hoteni village that we are going to visit today. This is not a UNESCO monument, but I think it's a very beautiful church. And this is from the 18th century. It was built in the 18th century, but not in Hoteni village. It was built in Slatina town, which is now located on the territory of Ukraine. In the 19th century, the people from Hoteni needed a new church, but they were simply peasants. They didn't have forests or economic resources. And this is how they got a second-hand church from Slatina town. And from the 19th century until today, the locals took very good care of it, and they are using it even today. I will show you how this church looks like inside. It has the structure of an Orthodox church, so it has a narthex, a nave, an iconostas, and a closed altar behind the iconostas. And you can see here how the locals adorn the iconostas with the embroidered textiles, exactly like they did with their traditional rooms. This is the nave of the church. And here we have the narthex of the church. You can see here the benches with woven blankets made from wool by the locals from the village. In this part of the church usually are staying the women, and in the nave are staying the men. This is the old tradition, and the people are keeping it today. Being a small community, in this village they have only one church, but this church is used for both the Orthodox and the Greek Catholic service. Now, after we visited the church, we can go to the festival. The festival is called in Romanian Tânjaua de pe Mara. We could translate this as the yoke from Mara Valley. And at this festival, they celebrate the first man who was seen plowing his field in the spring. At least this is the old tradition. Today, I think they choose the farmers celebrated on locals' agreement. And first thing in the morning, everybody gathers at the farmer's house and the preparations for a parade begin. And the young unmarried men come with these yokes. The yokes are adorned with birch branches and embroidered textiles, cowbells, and colored ribbons. You know, in many cultures, birch tree is a sacred tree. Even here it represents the spring, kindness, love, fertility, but it also protects them against the evil spirits. At the farmer's house, everybody is welcome. All the people from the village, but also tourists, journalists, and even political figures. And we can see here the women from the village wearing the traditional folk costumes, but also the young girls are wearing this with pride, even the children and everybody else. The family has to prepare for this event like for a wedding. So here we can see the host going around through guests with a plate with the traditional cabbage rolls. And in the other picture we have this bottle. Well, it's not water, it's the traditional Romanian drink. And here in Maramureș they call it horinca. It's the welcome drink that I was mentioning also in my previous episode. It's a distilled drink, 100% natural, made by the locals from plums, pears, or apples. This is quite strong, but it's a tradition, so everybody is having a taste of it, even if it's 10 a.m. in the morning. Also at the farmer's house, until everybody comes and they prepare for the parade, people can enjoy live music. They have these folk musicians. Here is the farmer celebrated. And here we can see the young men preparing the yokes because they will be carried these yokes on their shoulder. And after the Our Father prayer is said, they are finally ready to walk through the village with the yokes and the farmer celebrated. And here is how the parade looks like. So we have the young men, behind them we can see the small carriage with the farmer celebrated, and this is how he's carried through the village. Then come the folk musicians, the villagers, and all the other guests. Here we can see better how these yokes are attached to each other. It's looking like a train. Now we have only 4 of them, but because we have fewer and fewer young people in the village. But the locals are saying that in the past they used to have even 12 yokes like that. So you can imagine what a beautiful show it was. Now you might think that at this parade people are walking nicely, everything is going smoothly with music. This is partly true. But these young men, they are playing a role and they are acting like oxen who are not behaving very nice. And from time to time, they are jumping and they are running in different directions and running towards the people, and then you gotta stay away from them. And I have here a very short video with a few scenes like that, so you can have a better idea of what's happening. maybe the screams scared some of you, but I have to tell you as a disclaimer that nobody was injured at this festival. This is part of the fun. Also here we can see the farmer celebrated that is running. From time to time he runs from the parade and the other men are trying to catch him. According to the tradition, he's trying to escape from not having to treat the entire village with food and drink, although he just did it before the parade. And they are running and jumping and playing like that all the way from the farmer's house until they get to the river. And here at this small river takes place the watering ritual, where the man is blessed. A few magic words are said for fertility, health, and a good year, and then his face is washed. And also the parade ends here, but people can have fun because close to this place a stage is set for different folk performances, and they have also many tents with various foods, drink, and other souvenirs. From my point of view, the traditional and interesting part ends here, but sometimes I spend a little bit more time to have a snack and watch the beautifully dressed participants. Now, when we talk about Maramureș, we cannot talk, we have to mention music. And for that, I invited today a family of folk musicians from Maramureș, from Poieni Leizei village, and they are Ilieș family. And we have here in this image 3 generations together. We have the father, Mr. Ion, we have the daughter Anca, and the granddaughter Ioana. Well, Mr. Ion learned to play the violin when he was only 6 years old, from other folk musicians from Maramureș. They didn't study music in school and they play by ear, but these imperfections makes the Maramureș music so beautiful and authentic. And now I would like to invite you to listen to a song performed by them, and this is called The Ship's Spinning. In Romanian is Învârtita oilor. Bună!
Bună!
Bine ați venit! Mulțumim frumos, foarte frumos a fost. Thank you very much. Don't go away because we will see them again very soon in just a few minutes. Now, related to this song, I will tell you a few things about another spring festival, and this is called the milk measuring. Usually in Romania in spring, more families gather their animals and they are sent during the summer at summer sheepfolds in the mountains where they are taken care for by shepherds. And at the beginning of the season, these families are going to the sheepfold and the shepherds are milking the sheep. Then the milk produced is measured for each family. Depending on the amount of milk that the sheep give, the cheese produced during the summer will be distributed to the families. Also at this festival comes the priest and he has like a blessing service, and we can see him here having the same birch branches. And he's blessing the animals with holy water, and he also blesses the shepherds as well to keep them healthy during the season. And of course, like any festival, they are having different kinds of food, barbecue, but also folk musicians and dance. Now in Romania, we have many summer sheepfolds, not only in Maramureș. And some of them can take tourists overnight. They have nice accommodation and people can serve traditional shepherd's dishes. Me personally, I like to visit more authentic places like this one. So this is a sheepfold from Maramureș near Poienile Izei village. And here we have 5 shepherds. And they are taking care of 300 sheep and 50 cows. Now, their life here during the summer is quite difficult. They live isolated. Their sheepfold is like 2 hours away from the Poienile village. And also here we can see their shelter during the summer is more of a temporary shelter, and all of them are sleeping in one room and they don't even have a bathroom. They have only cold water from a spring. And even their schedule is quite busy. Here they milk the animals 3 times a day, beginning at 5 a.m. And you've seen in this picture that they are doing it by hand, so they don't have any modern tools to do it. In between, they have to take the animals to the pastures, then come back to their shelter to make the cheese. And also here you can see that they are making the cheese in the old-fashioned way, nothing modern, but everything is 100% natural and very tasty. And of course, they also have to cook for themselves because we have 5 men alone with no women, no wives. And here we can see them having lunch together. And this is their life all day for the whole summer. If you want to visit a place like that, I recommend to go with a local or with a tour guide because they also have sheepdogs and they could be aggressive if you go there unannounced. So now you see how a traditional sheepfold looks like, an authentic one. So that's why the locals choose to celebrate them and bless them at the beginning of the season. Now these 2 festivals, they are just a very, very small part of Maramureș. Maramureș has a lot more things to offer. Even if you're not here in the spring, whenever you come to Maramureș, you have the opportunity to see a traditional event like a traditional wedding where the whole village is attending with these funny adorned horses and everybody dressed in these folk costumes. Or you can just go to a Sunday service at the church. They are very religious, but also very welcoming, so everybody is welcome. Or just walking through the villages of Maramureș, there is always something to see. You can watch the locals doing their daily chores in the old-fashioned way. Like I said, Maramureș is a living museum, a trip back in time. So these kind of scenes are very common. Everything here is about pure joy and the celebration of life. And that's why we will have another song, which is like a tribute to Maramureș, and it's called Maramureș, a land with flowers. But first, we celebrate today another thing. Today is Mr. Ion's birthday, and we will sing for him today a Romanian song, the birthday Romanian song. Fetelor, cântăm la mulți ani domnului Ion?
Cântăm.
Mulți ani trăiască, mulți ani trăiască, la mulți ani trăiască, mulți ani trăiască, mulți ani trăiască, La mulți ani, domnul Ion, happy birthday. You can wish him well in the comments from our live. And now let's listen to this beautiful song called Maramureș, a land with flowers. Acum o să ascultăm Maramureș, plai cu flori.
Mulțumim frumos!
Noi mulțumim, foarte frumos, foarte frumos. Cum?
Bine că a fost bine.
Încă nu am terminat. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for traveling with me. in this beautiful region of Maramureș. I just want to let you know that these are the most welcoming people, the most beautiful people. And even if you don't speak the language and you walk through the villages of Maramureș, they will find a way to interact, to communicate with you. This was just a little bit of a teaser about Maramureș. You gotta come here and enjoy the full experience. Thank you for traveling. If you enjoy this and you want to see other virtual experiences, please like and follow our pages, Experience Romania and Alternative Tourism Association. If you appreciate us, please leave us a comment, or you can contribute with a small tip at the link from our description. Thank you very much, and enjoy the spring wherever you are.